very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. On behalf of the Green Revolution, I would want to welcome you all to our press conference. But before I go any further, I would want to introduce to you those who are with me today. My name is Tsenengamu Godfrey. I'm the national coordinator for the movement. To my left, we have Mngangwa. He's one of us in the movement, one of our key organizers in the movement. And to my right, we have Mngangwa. She's the coordinator for Harare province. Then we have Mike on the extreme left, who is also one of us in the movement. So before I get into the details of the press conference, I would want to say I'm sorry for coming a little bit late. I think I've been delayed by, 15 minutes or so. So I have to say I'm sorry for not coming in time, and hope that we'll correct that as we go. Yeah, so comrades, you saw an advert yesterday calling for today's press conference, which we are going to hold under the theme Zimbabwe at Crossroads, the way forward. On the 25th of May, we came up with an initiative, the Green Revolution. And we came up with that movement and named it the Front for Economic Emancipation in Zimbabwe. People have said a lot about the movement. Some saying, no, it's a political party, this and that. A lot of issues have been coming up. So before I get to the details of why we have to gather, I would want to say FEES is not a political party. The Green Revolution is not a political movement. It's not. So you may want to know what FEES is. FEES is an inclusive, non-partisan, radical, and militant economic movement of the citizens that seeks to confront corruption, ensure transparency and accountability, offer practical economic empowerment opportunities to the masses, and provide alternative economic solutions to the community. That is what FEES is. So, let it be clear here and now that FEES is not a political party. We are citizens coming from diverse backgrounds who would want to see a corrupt-free and prosperous Zimbabwe in their lifetime. We have different political backgrounds, so that is who we are. And what is it that we seek to achieve as FEES? We seek to unite, mobilize, organize, and represent all the citizens of Zimbabwe, either resident or non-resident, regardless of political, ethnic, gender, social, religious, and or academic status, in achieving an economically developed, prosperous, and corrupt-free Zimbabwe. we intend to resolutely confront, oppose, and seek to deliver Zimbabwe from corruption, social injustice, underdevelopment, economic stagnation, poverty, patronage, discrimination, economic exclusion, manipulation, and marginalization. We want to ensure equal and unhindered access to national resources and opportunities by all the citizens of Zimbabwe, and ensure equitable distribution of the same across Zimbabwe. So in brief, this is who we are. Bring together all progressive Zimbabweans so that we can preserve and protect national resources from planned and exploitation by parasitic and cannibalistic global and local capitalists, their agents, and imperial forces, and preserve the same for posterity. So, comrades, this is what FEES is all about. And some would say, why green? Why green? Not pink, not yellow, not orange. This is the question that we have been coming across since the 25th of May. So if you want to understand the rationale behind the choice of the green color, this is the explanation. For us, green is a color that depicts a lot of meanings, but among them, green symbolizes and represents the following. It represents growth, harmony, freshness, fruitfulness, healing, health, life, renewal, rebirth, resurrection, restoration, nature. It also represents energy, balance, and tranquility. So we are that movement that seeks now to find ways of growing our communities, our economy, of bringing harmony, uniting the people, bringing fruitfulness to Zimbabwe and all its citizens, of bringing about restoration and resurrection of our dead community and our dead economy. We are a movement that is seeking a renewal and a rebirth of our communities. So this is why we had to go for the color green. We know there are some who thought maybe we subscribe to the other green revolutions or green movements. No, we are Zimbabweans, so we are defining our own revolution in terms of our situation and circumstances. So now coming to the issue that is before us, Zimbabwe at crossroads, the way forward. Comrades, I don't need to lecture anyone on the situation and crisis that we find ourselves in. If we are to be realistic as a people, whether you are a student, you are a vendor, you are a miner, you are a farmer, you are a journalist, you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are a war veteran, you are a youth, you are women, the disabled, the academia, and everyone else, even in the security sector, everyone knows the magnitude of the crisis that we find ourselves in. Whether you are in Zanu PF or you are in MDC, whether you are a vanguard or you are a Murakash, every one of us knows the problem that we are facing as a country. So I'm not going to spend much of my time trying to explain or justify why we say we have a crisis. Maybe for some reasons, yes, you may be in denial and want to create false comfort zone for yourself. But deep down your heart, you know very well that indeed we're in a crisis. We are in a worse situation than we were before November 2017. That is a fact. Politically, socially, and economically. And the problems that we are facing are cross-cutting. They don't know whether or not you get in the same few queues, except for a few who are up there. And when I was part of them, yes, I didn't queue for fuel. I just bought my coupon, we'll go to a service station and get it. But the general citizen knows not less than 3-4 days of sleeping in a queue to get fuel. When your account is accredited with your salary, the first thing that we have to do is to call for a friend and ask, so that you are then able to go and buy money on the black market. Salary evani yakwizwa 50%, fuel yakwira 150%. And the effects of that do not know of any boundary. Ukaenda kuzipata the same. Go to South Atwan, where our tobacco farmers are gathered. For days they've been there, not being able to access their money, queuing at the banks. Here in town, that's the order of the day. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. Policy inconsistencies. Today they say you can get your forex from the bank. The next day they will say no, you won't be able to get it. You get it into your account, not as a physical US dollar. The following day they say something else. We have liberalized the forex market. No, we have brought in an auction system. No, we have a fixed rate. This is the situation that we find ourselves in as a country. Whether you are Zanu PF or MDC, this is not discriminating. Tribalism, regionalism, nepotism is evident everywhere, in the political parties and worse, in central government, worse than it was before November 2017. You may hate Tsenengamu, yes, and I'm not asking you to like me. There is no reason. But you cannot run away from these facts. We were here the last time with my colleague. We mentioned 3 people. We are accused of being corrupt. And people asked us for evidence. The next thing, we were put out of the party. Like for my colleague, he's still in there. I'm not sure it's lucky or something, but he's still there, which is okay. But before, 2 weeks or even a month, Tafazo was dragged before Parliament, asked to account for the millions that he got. He could not account for that. Billy Rottenberg released a statement saying, no, we don't have a monopoly, things like that, and people said no. And Tsenengamu munopenga. And so that would tell them with Tashika Papinina, we Itano, Yabili. And you ask yourself, Putin, why mandatory blending? When in the first place we were told that Iruku quids are blending so that it's cheaper. But looking at what Zera told us, released to the public, the ethanol charge pushed the petrol price to where it is. 150% rise in terms of fuel price. And you ask yourself, how did the Billy got that tender? Why are we being forced to do this? Is the Billy alone? If Billy was alone, why would then someone or some people be quick to dismiss us from the party for criticizing a monopoly or what we believe is an unjust act by an individual who is not a member of the party? They had to do that. Why? Because Billy is a friend of the leaders. He's a friend. He boasts about it. Go and ask people in Chitumba, they don't tell you that. At one point, he also tried to come and evict people from Kambuzuma, the Joshua Nkomo cooperative, because he has political connections to the powers that be. Go to Chisumbanje, ask the villagers how he is treating them. Why? Because he enjoys protection from the authorities. This is the reason why they had to chase us out of the party for challenging Billy. Because for them, it was not about Billy. In a way, we had pointed a finger at them, and they had to act. Billy is one of them in their ways, in their corrupt ways. Kuda was tried all his best to avoid going to parliament. Why? He didn't want to account for the command agriculture funds. You know, you've been reading about the Zupco deal, those buses coming from Belarus, and the involvement of his company, Landela Investments, which I mentioned here. I talked about Landela. I talked about Sotik. I talked about Punjab. Bringing in the buses without paying any taxes, saying they belong to the government, when it is, in fact, it is a scheme that also involves some of our leaders, those in government, those in the ruling party. They had to act after we said something about him because he is the sponsor of the party. He pays salaries for those in the party. The party has got no viable companies. They long collapsed. He bought those cars in the party. He provides fuel in the party. So the party has been captured. No one can say anything and then expect kindness from the leadership. So, we have heard, and we are very grateful to the likes of Hopi Ochimono, the likes of Elias Mambo, and many other journalists, including yourselves, maybe some, not all of you. Because some of you still try to spin things, try to come up with the narratives to defend dirty things. So, we are very grateful to those guys and some of you who have taken it upon themselves. You've taken it upon yourselves to let the world know the truth about what is happening, especially around COVID issues. The drugs scandal, the COVID gate. The head of state comes out to say, we have received a donation from drugs. He says, I made a personal appeal to drugs. And they donated goods worth 60 million US. It's there for everyone to see. And unfortunately, we are hearing that they are trying to victimize the cameramen who, according to them, had to find a way to sneak the video into the news bulletin and exposed the head of state. That's what we are hearing. And it comes out that what was said to be a donation was not a donation. It was a tender which was given to drugs and procedurally. Allegations that my brother Collins is part of the scam. And what does Collins do? He releases a statement. And all the comrades have to rush all over social media. Here's the statement from Collins. Here's the statement from Collins. And what happens next? You have pics of Delish with the Collins everywhere. And he says, no, I don't know this person. I have no relationship with this person. Are we that dumb? Do you take us for fools? That you think you can run away from the truth by just releasing a statement? If you think we are foolish to believe that. No. We know you are involved. But for some reason, you had to sacrifice Delish. Delish is the sacrificial lamb. DJ Biscuit was given preferential treatment, VIP arrest. A big thief. When the police are dragging vendors and touts, when they are arresting and harassing Makorokoza, arresting people for expressing their views, but they give special treatment to Obadiah Moyo, who comes to court in a convoy, ready to pay fine for a case which was not even before the court, with $50,000 of bond notes, $2 bond notes, when in fact an ordinary citizen would require 50 weeks, almost a year, to get that amount. But when Moyo went to court, he already had that cash with him. Who told him that he was going to be admitted on bail? Who told him that he was going to be given 50,000 bail? And you think we don't see this? Delish is still in police in custody. He has been denied bail. Those 3 girls accused of having committed a crime by having a match during COVID and faking an abduction as they allege. I'm not sure. I don't have the details. But my worry is they are still locked up. So their crime is so big that they must rot in remand together with Devish. But Uncle Moyo had to be given the VIP treatment and he is out on bail. Former Director of State Residencies, Tafuma, languished in prison. He was denied bail for allegedly bringing in cars without paying duty. He was sentenced, but Uncle Moyo is out. Why? We are told he is related to the president. We are not sure, but we have been reading. And looking at how he has been treated, we have every reason to believe that Moyo is a first-class citizen, and the rest of us are second-class citizens. The administration has been so effective in arresting pickpockets and promoting thieves and looters. Okay. So, you journalists are going to continue to expose this corruption that has been happening. You go to Zach, Zach tells you we are going to treat these issues differently. The way we treat this small thief and the way we are going to treat this big thief is going to be different. These are respectable people in our society. So ask them to come to court and to take this one into police custody. I'm not sure if we're going to allow that. So, exposing corruption and the rot that is happening in government, is that enough? The Auditor General's report is there. In my hood, and I also saw a post yesterday from one lady, Rumbi, or something saying, we don't have a what do you call it? A transformer in our area. But we went through the Auditor General's report. It says Peter Investments was paid millions of US dollars around 2010 or so. To this day, they've not even submitted or delivered a single transformer. So, the issue is, what is the way forward? Who is going to save us? Who is going to stop the bleeding? Who is going to take us to the promised land? Is it ED? Is it NERO? Is it Zanu PF? Or the MTC? Is it APA? Who is going to redeem us? Who is going to give us a life as a people? The conditions that prevailed during the liberation struggle, that prompted our parents to rise up and fight against Smith and his regime, I think currently those conditions exist. Simon Muzenda was arrested for reciting a poem which says, "One andanyakasikana kunozova rini isu vanyai tichitambudzika mweya unoera, kunozova rini kuisu vanyai tichidzvinyirirwa, ko ingataneta wani nokunwa misodzi, toshirira kudzamara kuve rinhiko, inga miti panguva yechando inozvizorodza, inokuumuka mashizha yombowana rudekaro, yozoti mukuchena kwokunzi yodembera, mashizha yova nenhenhere inoyevedza, shiri nemhuka nenyuchi dzokwezwa nehwemba, kweisu rugare ruchatisvika riniko. The poem goes on to say, vana vacheche vatinobereka, vanova vakati paive samasimba, vaneva ndivo vadyi venhaka dzedu vokura vakasunzumara munyika yekwavo, voshaya nzvimbo dzekurarama nekuzvidekadza pano neapo pazere rufuse, makumbo avo ave nematuzu nekungopfumiswa neriri pfumo jena vachasvike piko. I'll skip another stanza in the interest of time, and it goes on to say, pfuma yenyika nhasi yakatorwa, vakagovana paukama hwavo vepfumo jena. Nhasi vari kudya mafuta ayo nyika, isu tichidya nhoko dzezvironda. Nhasi vari kudya vakora sehochi, isu toondoroka sembwa ine gwembe. Nhasi vagere murusununguko, isu tongodzipwa pauro namajoto. Ko rusununguko nehanda ndorupiko. That was the poem recited by the late Dr. Mzee, and Smith had to arrest him for just reciting that poem. I think that poem applies today. Pfuma yenyika vatora vagovana, and all we are doing is kuchema pa Facebook, kuchema pa WhatsApp, kuchema pa Twitter. And you never win that war on Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Because there is a group of people vakatogadzirwa to spin propaganda. And I've seen some of them, they are in here. To tell the world that all is well, it shall be well. Be patient. When it's not. So, we have held these press conferences over and over again. I've seen some this morning were trying to say, zvakaitwa kudrugs kana kuLondon zvakaitika futi. Saka kana mchitaura drugs zivai pokuperera. Because they say it has happened in the UK, so it must also happen here. Oh my brother, this is Zimbabwe. We are going to deal with our own situation here in Zimbabwe. So people have been saying we need to act. Others have been saying, do we need another November 2017? Some would come out and say, Zanu PF must go. Others are saying it is because of the MDC sanctions. And others say, no, it is because of the rampant corruption in Zanu PF. Some say no. We must have the new leadership. And others say no, the leadership is not a problem. Let's just deal with corruption. And others say no, let's deal with the political problems that are bedeviling this country before we talk of any economic programs. Before we talk of industrialization, before we talk of anything, let's deal with the political problems before us. So, there is no common position among Zimbabweans in terms of the way forward. We are at the crossroads. Even all of us here, in this small room, if you are going to start to discuss how we got ourselves to where we are and how we are going to extract ourselves out of this mess, we are not going to agree. Why? Because you are going to argue on the basis of your political affiliation. To say, because I belong to Zanu PF. So if you say Zanu PF is corrupt, I'm going to defend. And surely you defend. Others will say, no, MDC is not to blame. You invited the sanctions. And this will say, no, you people are whatever. accuse each other. So politics has failed us. Politics has divided us. We no longer believe in ourselves. We believe in personalities. And the political parties of late have become personality cults. People are not gathering around a cause. They are not coalescing around a cause, but they are coalescing around individuals. So we have allowed the thirst for power by certain individuals who want it or those who want to protect it to divide us as Zimbabweans. When in fact, vakuru vedu whether ndeve Zanu PF or MDC, amai pavakabuda vachifusha muriwo, vakatotorwa picture kutoita pose yekufusha muriwo because vaiactor. That's not her life. Kuactor. Amai vako havangoda kutorwa picture yekufusha muriwo musha because that's her life. She lives that every day. And when vakuru vakange vese across the parties, mumwe akakwira kombe anofanira kutorwa picture, akaonekwa ari kumwe achidya sadza anoda kutorwa picture because vari kuactor life. That's not their life. Kana akatouya muqueue anofanira kuuya nemajournalists. When in fact iwewe unoto kumba kwako hauchatovati uchitorara muqueue uchitsvaga, ivo vanotouya vachiactor nemi majournalists muchitora mapicture. Obva akandwa kunzi amaonere leader wedu is humble, humility at its best, nekuti vaonekwa muqueue. So we have allowed politics to divide us. And we cannot push the same cause as a people. Izvo zvamwe venyu pano munenge muchiti no Tsenengamu project yani. Okay? I'm 38. I'm a family man. And you still think I need someone who is not living the life and kurarama kuti andirani. Madhiri ayo takaita kudhara. Tikatobuda mustaira. Tikarwisa ana Joyce. Tikarwisana na Grace na ana Kasukuwere. Hatichaita madhiri wayo kana mimi chiri kuita henyu. Hatichaita cause hazvina dhiri. Hazvina future yenyika ino, future yevana vangu. We are coming out as young people to rescue future yevana vedu. So chii chatakuita from here. What is the way forward? For the next 10 days, we are going to start a conversation, start dialogue amongst us as the citizens. We have been waiting for too long to see if our politicians were genuine. ED says, recognize me as a legitimate president. Nero says, you are illegitimate. This one says, come to Poland. And that one says, I want a bilateral. Why? Because ED says, I got 2.4 million votes. And you got 2.1. And he says, no, I got 2.6. I defeated you. If we look at their numbers, both of them, whether 2.6 or 2.1, 2.4 or whatever, what percentage is that of the total population of Zimbabwe? So you think you can hold us at ransom because of 2 million votes? Both of you. Kutotoona unga tiri vanhu venyu, kutotita zvireshe zvenyu. Zvekuti muri kuti no nyika ino inofanira kutostika. Kusvika imimi mumwe nemumwe amita maconditions emumwe. No, it's not going to happen. There is nothing special about you guys. Nothing at all. When we brought in ED, we never thought we would find ourselves in this situation. We thought we would be better than we were in 2017. But it's even worse. So what guarantee do we have that even if one of you becomes a leader, you are going to extract us from this mess? What guarantee do we have? You want to take advantage of our situation. Others are already planning for 2023 elections. Others are still mourning about the stolen 2018 election. So the preoccupation of the leadership in the two major political parties is power. Acquisition of power or protection of it. So what does that mean to the ordinary person? We must start a dialogue amongst ourselves as citizens. If politicians are going to come and be part of this dialogue, they are going to come in as ordinary people. If they are serious that they want to take this country forward, we are just giving them the next 10 days to either shape up or ship out, and will no longer be looking up to them. What that then means is we are going to do things on our own as citizens, because we are the ones who are being affected. Nero and ED are not being affected. In one of the political bureaus, ED said, let's start preparing for 2023. He wants to be elected in 2023 when he has not yet delivered on anything. Even if you go through his letter that he wrote when he was in exile, he has not done anything in that letter. I don't think he still wants to read it himself. And what does those in the opposition do? All they are calling for are political reforms that will enable them to win 2023 elections. So these people are concentrating on wanting to get power and protect it. No one cares about the situation in our hospitals, the situation in our roads, the situation in our schools, the situation everywhere in our economy. So what I'm saying in short is, it is high time that citizens realize that we are on our own and we have to liberate ourselves out of this mess. Politicians do not have any special brain that the generality of the people do not have. They don't. They are not special in any way. So, the plan of action is as this. We are going to have a conversation as citizens in the next 10 days, till the 6th of July. In our small groups, let's have that conversation in the churches, mumazupko, kwatiri kuvenda, kuchikorokoza, kuvarimi, everywhere, and say, how are we going to extract ourselves out of this situation? During that period, we are also going to ask the authorities to address us as a nation, to tell us their plan, to tell us what they are doing to address our situation. We cannot afford to get to 2023 with this bleeding. It has to stop. ED, when asked by Tatenda Mavetera about what he is going to do, he says, I do not even know what I'm supposed to do. Over corruption, he has no idea. So even if we continue to expose, the leadership has no clue. Maybe because in a way they are involved, I'm not sure. So, from the 7th of July to the 10th of July, in between those 4 days, we are going to act. we are going to act and extract ourselves out of this mercy. We are going to act as citizens. I'm not sure if it will be 10, will be 50, will be 1,000, will be 100, or 1,000,000. I don't know. Whether it will be 2 or 3, but the 3 of us are going to act between the 7th of July and the 10th of July. We are not going to be crybabies anymore. We are not. We are not going to address another press conference again. So, if those in charge are going to respond by way of arresting us, by way of pumping bullets into us, I'm not sure if they are going to do that. But if they are to do that, then they are free to do so. Because matijaira zvakwana. Handizive kuti tichaita sei, but all I'm saying to Zimbabwe is between the 7th of July to the 10th of July, we are going to act. If they are going to send out whoever they think to quash and crash whatever that we are going to do, we'll deal with that. We are not against anyone, neither are we for anyone. But we have no reason to sit back and pretend that all is well when it's not. We demand an urgent redress. And we are not going to apply to the police. Because the Constitution guarantees us the freedom and the right to do what we want to do. So it will be very, very constitutional. Very, very constitutional. But we are going to find a way. So if you want to arrest me or some of us before that date, it's okay. But this tide, you are not going to stop it. You are not going to stop this tide. It's no longer about Tsenengamu. You can arrest Tsenengamu, you can arrest me, you can beat me up, you can kill me, you can do anything that you want. But this thing is not going to stop. Bob tried it. Between 2015 and 2017, he arrested me a good 6 times. When he resigned in November 2017, I had 10 charges. 2 observations. 3 of undermining the authority of the president. 3 of threatening the first family. And 1, a poster. So can I mean which draft out any my charge? I'm Masha, I come to my 1. Draft time. Imimi Chayema Katobu Sumba. In the case of ED, I got to put up Tamu soul, but I'm not Mira. Because you believed the cause of my pusher was a just cause. I'm coming out to say, Mamati Pushira, Warume Banyanya. Kana kiticha hiyo ukaisa pakona inotsvaganzira. So my comrades takutsvagawo yekuti no, nyaya dzamuri kuita dzechimbavha, kugovana nyika kuita yenyu, kurega nyika ichipinda mumaoko eava new colonizers maChina vachipfura vanhu vachienda kuna nauzumba uku vachiputsa zvinhu zvevanhu. No, we cannot continue to allow that. It has to stop. Zviri kuitwa nevana venyu zvokuenda vachiginyabvurira vana makomba avo kwese kuna ana Shambo, kwese kuna ana Mount Darwin, kwese kuMidlands uku. Aiwa hazvichaita. Takachema hedu naana achatunga nana Robert vaiva nekaurombe kaiva nako hawo pakufara but dzanga dzisiri mbavha iri boys raita mbavha manje iri raita mbavha iri so kuti tikuregei vakomana muchiputsa future yevana vedu because imimi muda kurarama hazviite. But comrades, it's high time we realize kuti we have what I can call a gonzo type of a leadership. Ukaona gonzo richiruma ruma zvino haisi nzara, inoruma leather jacket rako, yoruma gemenzi rekumasowe, yoruma tambo inoenda ku-TV, yoruma mbedha, yoruma suti yako, yodya dovi, yorova chibage chako, iwe wakarara yobva yakuruma tsoka. Haisi nzara. Kuda kungonzwa kuti ichi chinoita sei, ichi chinoita sei. This is the problem that we have with those, some of those who are in leadership. They are everywhere. So, hatisi kuzomirira any political party to organize us. We are organizing ourselves as Zimbabweans. Those who think it is the right time to do this, please come. Those in the diaspora, find a way of supporting us. Not everyone will be present. Pazvinopera tinogona kutangirana pamwe chete. Hatizive kuti patinopedza after kumhanya kuchaitika, hatizive kuti kumhanya kurudzii, hatizive kuti tese tinoguma taapo here. But it is necessary that we have to act. So hatina chimwe chinhu chatiri kuronga chiri sinister, ndokusaka tabuda kuya kunotaura, because hatisi kuplana zvinhu usiku. Haisi treason. We are going to act against corruption. We are going to act against my injustices I might impose on our communities. Vese vari kunze vanoda kuti uyai tishande pamwe chete. So, Zimbabwe, my last word is, we have to come together. You may say Tsenengamu, whatever. You have every reason not to love me or to like me. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about your kids. It's about the future. Yevana. Irikuruwa ni vampire atina wezo sisi. But patri kuzosvika muswa 7, between 7 and 10. Kubva nhasi kusvika muswa 6. Tichawirira sema citizens kuti tichanyatsoita sei. Izvo zvatisi kutaura kuti tichaitei. But we are going to act in a very, very big way. I thank you. So if there are any questions, before I take questions, I would want to say, as a movement, we have created a special unity to fight against corruption as a professional unity. So we have registered a trust, the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Citizens Task Force, which is a special unity under the broader movement, under fees. So we have this trust, which is a board corporate, which can sue and be sued. So in terms of specific corruption cases, that will take care of that. Going to the police, going to ZAC, going to the NPA, doing everything. So we have now a unit, because not all of us are going to be able to deal with specific cases of corruption. We need an organized unity. So we have lawyers, we have people with security experience who are going to help us in dealing with corruption cases, in case Panama cases are chimuka. So we are going to give out a number, yes, act, where we are going to expose corruption, where we are also going to act, and not just expose. Making follow-ups on nemapurisa kuti kesi yakati yafambiswa sei. Making follow-ups nezak kuti kesi yakati zvafamba sei. Because Zach cannot be brought before any politician for questioning. But we are going to take them to account as a task force of the citizens. And we also have another one, which is the National Affirmative Action Assembly of Zimbabwe, which is also under the broader movement, which will be dealing with the specific cases of empowerment, empowering the people, the citizens, and the communities. So these are two professional units under fees as the broader movement. So they will be manned professionally with hotlines that we are going to give out in the next few days, where people are going to report, even if they report to the police, even if they report to ZAC. We are also going to ask the citizens to tell us, we have reported a case to police, RB number card, and we are going to make a follow-up on behalf of the citizens. Because we are now registered and mandated to do that. We are not going to take over the role of ZAC or the police or the NPA. Where it is going to be necessary, where the state is not going to prosecute, we are going to seek legal advice from those who will be manning the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Citizen Task Force to tell us how we can proceed with private prosecution. So that's how we are also going to deal with specific cases of corruption and taking the leadership and authorities to account. So I am done in terms of my general address. So if there are any questions pertaining to what I have said, don't ask me what I have not said, or try to put your words into my mouth. If you have anything that you want to say, I want questions, then I can respond to questions. My brother.
Thank you, Mr. Tsenengamu. Mine is just a comment,
okay,
also maybe a question.
Okay.
Mr. Tsenengamu, you have been Zambia for a very long time.
Sure.
And you are part of the system that ushered in the dispensation which you are currently attacking.
Okay.
In my own assessment and view, you come from National Central,
exactly,
where we had a lot of people who were butchered and beaten up by Kasukwere, including yourself.
Okay.
You could have done so long back when you are now 38 years.
Yeah.
You could have done it long back around 2007, when you were around 15, 16 years.
Okay.
You were already in Zanu PF.
Okay.
And you participated in attacking and causing a lot of assault in the province, in Zimbabwe in general. Now today, you come in as a savior, which to me, the source of message from you, yeah, some people may not take it seriously. Okay. Because you have not even apologized to what you did to the people. Okay. And you are now framing yourself as a savior to the nation. You could have accepted, your message is good, but you could have accepted it if it were coming from other people who are at least different from you today. Okay. Because you are part and parcel of what we are today. And you mentioned again about that political parties cannot usher in any dispensation to what we are today. I don't know how you want to do it. You agree. You are not a political party. The Constitution of Zimbabwe states that for anyone to run this country, you must enter into elections to participate, and thereafter you are ushered in as whatever, as a president, whatever. Now, because you are green, you are just an organization, we don't know what you want to do, maybe you are just trying to hide behind fingers. And in future, I want to say, we are now going to participate in elections as independent and so forth. We have known that for a long time. It plants people inside the system.
Can you be brief? So that you also
so in short, I'm saying, how are you going to do it? Because in future, of course, political parties are going to participate. You'll be out. No. As green. Are you going to form a political party or not? We are hiding to us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, my brother. First, I would want to say, to ask you, if you have any specific acts of violence that you can attribute to me, to say, Tsenengamu, you torched someone's house, so and so's house on such a day. Or these are just general assumptions because I belonged to Zanu PF. Can you give us specific issues of violence that I committed against those whom we think I committed against, and give us names? Not just to accuse me generally and say, because you belong to Zanu PF, because Zanu PF is violent, then you are equally violent. I would want to respond to specific cases if you have. If you don't, then I will respond to it as a general person. Do you have?
Yeah, we have.
Against me?
Against that yourself as the leader, National Assembly.
No, I'm saying, do you have anything against me? Or against the party that I want to belong to?
The party that you headed, that you were
okay.
as a leader.
No, that's okay. I wanted you to be clear that you are attacking me or attacking my credibility on the basis of the movement or the political party that I once belonged to. The very same party that also Morgan Shangrai at one point belonged to as a district chairperson in Bindura at Trojan Mine before he formed the MDC. So yes, I'm coming from Zanu PF. And I had every reason to be Zanu PF. If you go to the Zanu PF log, it says unity, peace and development. Are you against that? Obviously, anyone who is normal would not go against a party that goes for unity, for peace and development. If you go through the Zanu PF constitution, you have no reason whatsoever to go against it. There's no reason. And I'm not attacking Zanu PF. Because you still have people in Zanu PF who are not corrupt. Not everyone in Zanu PF is corrupt. We are not going to attack institutions. We have to deal with specifics. I started attacking corruption when I was the National Political Commissar of the Zanu PF Youth League. Last year in 2019, around June, July, before I was expelled, we addressed a press conference here when I was still the National Political Commissar, when we pointed out Kuda, Tafazwa, and Billy. I was a member of the Central Committee. With all of the benefits that you can think of, I had a Ford Ranger, a very good one. I had a very good salary. By January 2020, I was getting around 8,000 pounds. That was then. And I'm sure they've reviewed it. By then it was enough for me. I would have chosen that convenience and sacrificed my conscience. It doesn't mean that if certain people are violent in Zanu PF, then everyone else is violent. It doesn't mean that when certain people are corrupt in Zanu PF, then everyone else in Zanu PF is violent. It's not. The same. Even when my brother Nero, he's my brother, a very good one, and I have no reason to run away from him. Does it mean when his film or himself stood for Zula in that labor dispute, does that then mean the MDC is no longer a labor party? Does that mean everyone in MDC participated in that court case against the workers? It's not. When you have the vanguard in a certain political party, the MDC, does it mean that every member who voted for MDC is a vanguard member? It's not. Even Josepha, akararama muimba yemunhu akanga asiri right, but hazvina kumutenda kuita munhu asiri right. Kune macomrades ari muZanu PF vari kutorwadziwa nezviri kuitika. So we are not going to attack a party. We are attacking what is bad. So, inini fine ndiri kubva kuZanu PF. Muri kuda here kuti ndidzokere? Ishu yenyu ndeyekuti rega kurisa uoni. Dzokera ikoko, munoramba muchiba zvamakamuchiita. Ndo zvamuri kuda chii? Because ndikaramba ndikange ndiri kuZanu PF unonzi ibva ikoko. Handitika ndikabva onzi wakanga uriko dzoka. So muri kudei? Ndiana asina background. Hakuna. It's not about me. I'm not a saint. I've never said I'm a saint. But all I'm saying is I'm against corruption and the related economic injustices in what is happening in the country. Even when I was in Zanu PF, before Mugabe expelled me, I stood up and said, the way you are treating Mngangwa, it's wrong. Musambate maila muno mandakati touch not the successor. Ukambata wanyura. Ende muso akambata akabanyura sure. Tinonge tinopenga tichitaura. Vanhu vachifunga kuti tinodomoka. Later on people will realize that no. Apa tinenge tichongotaura zvinhu because tiri concerned. Mukoma handina kutanga kutaura kuti kuri kubiwa ndabuda muZanu PF. Ndakatotaura ndichiziva kuti salary yandiri kupiwa iri kubhenwa nakuda. Ende pandiri kuzonomutaura salary iyo ichasizwa. I'll become one of the youths who are still employed. Mota iri kutorwa. So far, ndakatorwa Ford Ranger mudhara ndaaneka Honda Fit. From Ford Ranger T6. Kana kupona ndichadwa nazvo ndakaita 3 days last week ndiri muqueue yekutsvaga fuel. I had to make a decision either to sacrifice my conscience for convenience, and I said no. So, those who feel Tsenengamu is not the right person to say this. Chitanga ikutaura ndimi tokutsigirani. But why makanyarara? Tikutaura because makanyarara. Vashoma vari kuita zvakaipa. Vari kuzviita because veruzhinji makanaka manyarara. So chiuya mutitungamirire isitangotanga. It's not about a position. Then secondly, you said my political parties. Is there a constitutional right to my parties? But all I'm saying is we are not going to organize ourselves around political parties. No. We are organizing ourselves as individuals. Zanu PF will continue to exist. The MDC will continue to exist. If they want to contest my elections, let them do. But we have contested elections in Ghana since 1980 to this day. You have elected MPs. Vasisiri kuwanikwa kumusha. MP azvariwa kuti member of parliament. Zvakuriwa kuti missing person. Whether ndewe Zanu PF or MDC. Councillor haana chaari kuita. President haana chaari kuita. So the issue is, are we going to wait for 2,400 individuals? 3 vari presidium, plus or minus 30 vari cabinet. 210 directly elected MPs. 60 my MPs achieved my proportional representation. 60 my senators. And 1,958 councillors to save us from this situation. Is it not sad that we have plus or minus 8 million adults looking up to 2,400 people for their salvation? My MPs akatoendera kuparliament makuponi maallowance nokupiwa mari vasiri kumiririra vanhu ivo vakagona kuzvipa mota dzema 40,000 50,000 US, but ivo vari kupiwa mabhondi ekuenda nawo eCDF ende havagone kuita noise because zvavo zvaita. Ndo vamurikuda kumiririra here? Murikuda kumiririra here makansila kumusha asina chaari kuita kunze kwokugwa chibage cheChristian Kane World Vision? Muda kumiririra here makansila ari muHarare ayo ndezanu PF ari kuita zvokugwa chibageka? MDC munhu ari kuita zvokugwa namastands amaland barons. Do you think those people are going to save you in any way? You can save yourself from that. You and me tikabatana, ndine weaknesses zangu, ndine strengths zangu. Mune weaknesses zenyu, mune strengths zenyu. Tikabatanidza, we can complement each other. You ask kuti tiri kuhwanda musari kwechiguru. Hatina reason ndara yekuhwanda musari kwechiguru. Isaka tava masikati machina, hatisi varuya vanouya usiku. If you want to be a political party, toitaka. Torambidzwe. But musati zvise patisiri, ndirai nesu kunoko. We are a citizens movement. Those are tiri. Musafunge zvimwe izvo, no. Musaone party patiri. Imi mudhara munogona kuti mukatotanga kutoti leader, hatina problem nazvo. All we want is salvation. Simple. Any question? Okay, fine. Before you come in, Mngoma Vivian, Msengezi would want to say something.
I see global catholic gender graduate and shora no kivu na utaanza unyazo kuliza ndani ya jeshi la unyazo tawa whether MDC was anobia tinema MP nema councillors MDC vari kuba tinema MP nema councillors nemamwe ma ministers vekuzanu PF vari kuba nyaya iri pano ndeyekuti isu semacitizens nzara yarova. Vazhinji hatitomboziva kuti kuZimbabwe pane kudya. Vazhinji hatitomboziva kuti school fees tichadii. Maproblems aya ari kukonzereswa neleadership imwe yatakaelecta, imwe yakaita zvokapoindwa. I can give you a very good example. Mtuli muvendi mangodya. Mapolicies avo, they are so conflicting. Unoshaya kuti kutsvaga manzira dzokubata dzo mari here kana kuti kuda kugadzirisa nyika. Nhasi wamuka wakuti 1:1. Mangwana wati 25. Mangwana wati gatiliberalize. Mangwana wadzoka wakuti auction. Manje vachadzoka futi. Because zvino vakatiti 3 months. Chatiri kutaura ndechekuti taneta nemi maitiro amuri kuita itai zvinhu zvine national interest, because you are protecting your self interest at the expense of the masses. Vanhu tiri kushupika. Ukatenderera mugeto womunonzwa tsitsi, vanhu vane madegree vakagara, vamwe vanopfungwa chaidzo neenergy yekuzvishandira nemaoko avo. Hapana chaunobata because economy yacho is not enabling. Policy inconsistency iri kutikuvadza. Corruption yatikuvadza. Panguva yana Mugabe vanhu vaiba zvavo zvokuti vanhu taishaya kuti ko Grace mari anayo zvinhu zvaari kunzi akatenga ring ye 1.5 million US mari akaiwana kupi. Ndo maquestions ataibvunzana iwayo. But ezvinezvi patiri kuti taisa new dispensation zvinhu zvichachinja. Vanhu vakutoba zviri direct zvokuti invoice inotonzi munhu atenga zvinhu zve$300 US uye wazvitengesa $68,000. Makamboona kuti business rakadaro. Dai business raidaro kana itese takafa nemari kubva time yatatanga kuita business. Icorruption iri pachena yekuti munhu ari kuonekwa aine mapicture, ari kuonekwa pamapicture aine vana vapresident, ari kuonekwa pamapicture aina first lady. Munhu iyeyo dzakaita akapiwa tender ye$60 million with a non-existent. So company yane 2-3 weeks yarejistwa. Zvinhu zviri pachena. Kwacho kwairi kunzi iri hapana, haina address iri valid yainayo. Tiri kuti corruption yanyanyisa, malevels ecorruption aya hatichakwanisa kumatambira. Saka iwewe whether uri kuMDC, kuZanu PF, Zim PF kupi, uya tichibatana as citizens toita our leaders kuti vave accountable kwatiri. Dambudziko riri kuitika neleadership yedu nderekuti vanofunga kuti they own us. No, they don't own us. We put them there so that they can lead. Because 15-16 million tese hatingakwanisa kuita president kana minister. Tinochuza munhu one anenge adiwa nevazhinji. But kana tazovaisa ipapo dambudziko vakufunga kuti tiri vanhu havo. Kwete, hatisi vanhu venyu, tiri macitizen emuZimbabwe. Tibatsirei tigone kurarama life yakanaka. Madecisions amuri kuita ngaave ari ekutibatsira isusu nekuti ikonomi yedu iende kumberi. Ini ndikanzi ndafa nhasi handina kana insurance, handina kana business randinaro rokuti vana vangu vanogona kuzosarawo vachiti vari kubhadharirwa school fees kana kuwana chikafu. Ndo zvinhu zvidiki zvatiri kuchemera. Hatisi kuti tiite kuti macitizens tifambe nemarange rover. Kwete, tiri kungodawo life yekutiwo tikakombewo nedzimwe nyika tinenge tichirarama life yakanaka. Ndabva kuchikoro ndinouya ndowana basa. Ndo zvatiri kutaura. Hatisi kuti ndikuda kuita CEO. Kwete, ndabva kuuniversity ngandiuyo ndowanawo kabasa kangu kekuita. Izvezvo vamwe takabva kumusha takatotarisirwa izvezvi kunzi vamwe vachatumirawo chibage nemuriwo mucovid. Handina kana staga warina takatumira because handina chechino chandiri kuita chandiri kuita. Zviri kutadziswa nei? Neleadership iri kuba zvinhu zvipachena. Nezuro ndandiri paparire nyatwa. Sorry state chaiyo. Hapana manesi, hapana madoctors. Havasi kuzviziva leadership kuti hakuna manesi nemadoctor. Vari kuzviziva but vari kuti chii? Kamhenu tichaona kana makuita basa muchaita se muchadzoka. Ndo mararamiro acho atiri kudai. Asiri zvepolitics ngatimboisai pasaidi. Zvekuti Tsenengamu akabva kuZanu PF, Musekeza akabva kupi, hazvina nebasa rese. Let's stand together as citizens and hold our leadership accountable.
No, thank you, Ramsengezi, for also explaining so that people get to understand. It's normal, fine for people to be skeptical because vanochema kuti takamboshandiswa kwashiro, saka vanenge vakutya kuti kudini kushandiswa. So it's normal kuti vanhu vave skeptical, but with time people will appreciate and our sincerity and what we also intend to achieve. Mukoma Vivian Banile, you wanted to say something.
Right, maita basi. Inini ndikati ndina makore muchikuisraeli.